Bet Online is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for online betting. From the earliest odds to in-game live betting, Bet Online provides you with all the action and the ability to watch the games as they happen. With the largest selection of odds on everything from football, NBA, and college basketball, NHL to UFC and MMA. Head to Bet Online today to get in on all the action with America's most trusted site for online wagering. Bet Online, the game starts here.
Thank you for making Saints Central your black and gold home for the New Orleans Saints.
Who that say they gon' beat them Saints? Who that? Who that? Who that say they gon' beat them Saints? Who that? Who that? Who that say they gon' beat them Saints? Who that?
Yeah. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Long as I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. Sports Coma, yeah, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like elf. I thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your shame for the championship. Bucking on town, duck down. Falcons, pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy, then you probably smell the crooked referees on Roger Goodell. Yeah, probably like this, and I'm a who that. Every day I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like this, and I'm a who that. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
All right, Jeff, thank you, man. But yeah, it's accountability, bro, just to clean up and finish up my commentary on that, is Dennis Lauscher. Let's start with Dennis Lauscher. Lauscher doesn't know anything. He's a businessman. We need a guy that knows about football on the field, not some guy that's making money off the Saints with business moves. Shift his position to something else and get a real football guy there. That's number one, who can be accountable. When you got a real football guy there, then you can check Mickey Loomis on his BS, because that guy, Lauscher, is supposed to be holding Mickey Loomis into some type of accountability thing, and he doesn't. That's why Mickey Loomis can talk crazy to the family base. He can say all this weird stuff. He can do all these stupid moves and not get chastised by his boss, because his boss don't know enough to chastise him. Then the second thing they need to do is pull the general manager position away from Mickey Loomis and give it to somebody else, Kai Hartley, or hire somebody. I care not. Pull it away from him, because all he's going to do going forward is go back into what he knows to do, which is we got to find somebody that's connected to the organization, which you don't need to do. You need a whole new vantage point on how to fix the team, and it can't have anything involved with him. He screwed it up. He tore up the money for the next 3 years. He made these bad decisions. He was protecting these stupid coaches. This is all his fault. So in the end, we got some serious change. So I would not believe in anything Mickey Loomis is doing. I will be honest with you. Thank you. Appreciate you, bro. Thank you for that. Doozy, what's up, dude? Say, hey, Q, are we still supposed to be looking past the results? Or not? Thank you, bro.
very much.
Oh, man. But you know what?
Talk, boy.
Because you did, you actually, you on some true talk right there, brother Doozy. Yeah, look beyond the results. Mickey Loomis said that. And he said a lot of lame brain stuff. He did. You got a whole lot. He got mad at you too, didn't he? You got to look beyond the results. Remember, he did this thing with his hands. I like to make fun of him when he did. Remember that? He did this. Oh, we got to have a choice. No, man, listen. That guy doesn't know what he's doing. Let's just keep it a buck. And then when he comes out finally from hiding, because he was supposed to do an interview this week, he didn't do one. When he finally comes from hiding, it's all he's going to do, just like the other guy with the Pelicans, is they're going to blame everything on injuries to save their ass. None of these guys are accountable. None of them. They're not accountable. You cannot make bad decisions without paying for it. What kind of example are we setting as parents if we did that? Even in business, you have to have accountability. You can't make bad decisions over and over again and say what you said at the start of the year. Then when the year comes, pivot to something else. You can't do that. That's bad decision making that you have to pay for. Well, actually, we pay for it, don't we? Thank you, Doozy. Appreciate you, man, for that. All right, Doc says this week power ranking Saints number 35, and we only got 32 teams in the league.
Say thank you
bro.
very much.
Terrible.
Picking me up, bringing me back to this world.
We got a problem on our hands, but this is how you get right, though. When the team collapse like this is how you get the change needed. Gail had his hearing the family members. This team is more than you cannot turn the rebuild or fixing of the team over to Mickey Loomis. He does not know what he's doing. He doesn't. He, from the past, was a guy that was a gopher. I'm not disparaging him. I'm telling the truth. Sean Payton was the one that was telling the Golden Gopher, Mickey Loomis, what to do. He was telling him, go give me this guy, give me this guy. He was basically, Sean would give him the shopping list and Mickey would go and get the groceries. That's pretty much what it is. It ain't nothing but a glorified Uber driver. You give him the list and he go get the groceries. You know, that's what he did. Because when you watch the trades that he would do with other general managers, people are like, why did he do that? You know, because he's not a real general manager. He's not a real GM. That's why he gets fleeced by other GMs. Have you noticed that yet? I've been exposed this guy years ago. Then when it's time for you to question him, he don't want you to ask hard questions. He's thin-skinned and insecure. You ask him questions. Well, Bobby Hebert was hitting him with questions from the supporters. What did he do? He stopped being interviewed by Bobby Hebert and started letting New Orleans Saint reporter hired by the team to ask him questions. And then Mike Hoss will run interference and throw up softball questions. Even in some questions say you don't have to answer this question if you don't want to. Remember that? Y'all, I'm telling you, man, the dude really went to Hoss, who's a brown-nosed softball reporter, protecting Mickey Loomis. He doesn't want to be asking it. What kind of manager who has a plan don't want to be questioned on the plan that he has unless this guy is some type of phony? He don't want to be questioned on his screw-ups, and that's the problem. Blake says black money going to be hell on airline drive. And it's all on us. We got to keep the pressure. So shout out to Jeff. Jeff says earlier, said earlier about boycotting the team. I would get everybody I could on board. I would bring them all. We got Dennis Allen out of here, and it wasn't because of Mickey Loomis. It was because of you. That's who got him out of here. If it was Loomis's call, this guy would still be here. If it was that's why we don't need him. He don't know what he's doing, fam. The game, he's been thoroughly exposed for his lack of abilities and vision. We don't need that kind of guy running the team. We don't. That's why you got this type of result, and he's non-accountable. He's just going to come up here and lie about excuses. That's what's hurting the team. And Moment, we'll put this other guy up here in a minute. What's his name? Rizzy. We got to be tough. See what happened today. We had a good result today. But the bottom line is, sometimes, we had some injuries and that kind of stopped us. And, I looked at the stats. We just had it. We had a good effort today. We just didn't execute. That dude said that, literally said that last week. I didn't see any lack of effort. We just didn't execute. That guy said that. That guy literally said that. And I was like, what? I bust that with Russell. I was like,
what?
Yeah, I was like, what? What are you talking about? How could they be just crazy, man? They done, man. Thank you, Jamie. Appreciate you, man. They done. OG says, outside of football, what do you think about 50 and Omar Gooding supporting the Saints? I call it exploiting. Hashtag Street Porter. 50 and Omar Gooding supporting the Saints? Really? I hadn't heard that, OG. They doing a movie about them, or are they saying, man, we're going to ride with the Saints? But listen, whoever them guys, if 50 Cent and Omar Gooding is trying to back the Saints in any capacity, I don't, if it's rap or whatever, then I might listen to them, or acting or whatever, I'll listen to them. But when they come down to the Saints, they ain't got a pony in the race. They ain't got a horse in the race. Because only a shyster would promote support into the Saints. Somebody that's ignorant or a shyster This is totally horrible. King Morrison said, what's the draft order looking like now, Q? Well, it look like here. The Saints currently, if I can get it updated, let's see, the Saints are what, 5-11 now? They're like, I don't know, it depends on what the Jets doing. I don't have an updated thing. Currently, they sitting at 10 right now. What, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. But depending on what the Jets do, the Jags do, and the Jets and the Jags do, because you might, if the Jets lost today, you might switch with them and you might fall within the top 10, might be 9. I think the furthest you could fall right now this week is 9. So regardless of not, that's pretty bad. But thank you, bro. Appreciate you.
I want to say thank you very much.
Terrible.
Bringing me back to this run.
All right, shout out to the fam, man. We're gonna bring in Pops Q in a moment. Shout out to you guys for being here. Let's hit these stats right quick, man. If you could stand it, family, give me a second. Let me power through these stats for the Who Dat Nation, man. Right now, and it was another awful affair. First downs in the game. The Raiders 22-13 on the Saints. Hold on here.
Welcome to our Saints post-game show.
Hold on, let me kind of quiet them down so we can talk some real stuff here. All right, we'll go back to him when we get Darren Rizzi. We're gonna be up here talking about the Saints. We're gonna go back to that momentarily. Let me hit you with these stats right quick, and then we'll bounce into with Pops Q will pop in. Third downs, the Raiders were 10 of 18 on third down. Saints were 1 of 10 on third down for the entire game, family. Total plays, Raiders 74-53, 388 to 269 in total in terms of yards. Drives 11-11, 5.2 yards per play versus 5.1 for the Saints. You look at that, the running attack, the Raiders had 156 yards running on the Saints, 38 attempts, 4 yards per carry. The Saints on their end of things were 81 yards, and 46 of it was Spencer Rattler scrambling for his life. 13 rush attempts tonight, 6.2 yard average. Like I said, it was all Spencer. Red zone, 2 of 4. The Raiders were 50%. Saints were 0 for 1. The Saints had 10 penalties for 77 yards, man. You won't talk about dumb. You won't talk about trifling. That's what they were. 3 penalties for 20 for the Raiders in the game. The Saints had 2 turnovers, interceptions by Spencer Rattler. Almost 38 minutes in this game. The Raiders held the ball of a 60-minute game. The Saints had it for 22 minutes and 10 seconds. Besides their little trickeration touchdown early in the game, the Saints didn't have any offense to speak about without them getting kicked in their tail or backed up due to the fact that they were having 10 penalties to neutralize anything they had going on. Just over and over again. Spencer finished 20 of 36 for 218, a touchdown, 2 picks, sacked 3 times, rating dropped to 59.7. He was also the top rusher, 3 scrambles for 46 yards. Clyde Edwards-Helaire had 5 for 20 in the game. Top receiver, Juwan Johnson, 6 catches off for 10 targets for 66 yards. Foster Monroe, 3 for 47 in the score. Pettis, 3 for 27 off of 4 targets. In the matchup, 3 for Cedric Wilson Jr. for 17 yards. Not much shaking on that. Look at the Saints defense. Pete Werner had 13 tackles. So did Demario Davis in the matchup. 1 sack that was by Cam Jordan for the entire game. Saints had 0 pressure on Aiden O'Connell in the matchup. Blake Grupe was 1 for 1. He did hit 34-yard field goal. And Matt Hayball punted 7 times. That's right, 7 times for 330 yards, 47-yard average, and put 3 of the 7 within the 20-yard line. For the Raiders side of things here, Aiden O'Connell had 20 of 35, 242, 2 touchdowns, 1 sack, 97.6 rating. Amir Abdullah, the backup, 20 carries, 115 yards. He averaged almost 6 yards a carry. Alexander Madison, 10 carries for 32 yards. Pushed the Saints. 38 carries for 156 yards. They averaged over 4 yards a carry for the running attack for the Raiders. Brock Bowers, the fantastic tight end, 7 catches off of 7 targets, 7 for 7 for 77 yards. Can't make it up. Jacoby Myers, 5 catches for 61 yards and a touchdown off of 9 targets. Amir Abdullah, 3 for 52. Terrence Marshall Jr. had 1 for 28, 2 for Trey Tucker for 24 yards and a score. Their top tackler was Robert Spillane, 8 tackles and a sack in the game. Also, Adam Butler had a half a sack. Clavion Chasen had a full sack, half a sack by Tyree Wilson and Thomas Harper. They both added in for 4 sacks on the Saints late. They picked them off twice and sacked them 4 times. And the Raiders are usually not a team that intercepts you. So that just goes to show you how bad the Saints are. in the game. So anyway, man, it is what it is as far as that concerned. Look at JD with that damn jacket, man. JD cutting up with that jacket. All right, but anyway, we're gonna bring in Pops to the broadcast. Pops, man, we're gonna bring him on in here. Pops, you got to make sure your TV off, sir, so we can hear you pretty good as well. So we're gonna bring Pops in. Here you go, Pops. Welcome on in. How you doing, sir? Unmute yourself, Pops. You muted.
How's that?
There you go. We can hear you loud and clear.
Yeah, just sitting here with me. I was watching the game. Seeing that our offensive line, as usual, it sucks real bad. I mean, the quarterback, the guys looking down receivers. You got enough players on the field. You don't have to look the receivers down. And Rattler was doing that just about the whole game. They started off pretty good until the Raiders figured them out. The defense looked like it's just giving up. They don't challenge. They don't try to sack nobody, or they getting too old. Something's not right. I mean, it's time for some changes to be made. They already changed the coach, but you got to go beyond that. I agree with you. They got to change that top management structure. Anything having to do with the football team need to be changed. So to get some new blood in. Sometimes you have to get new blood in. You know, in this situation where we need new blood to come in. New football people could come in and look at this team from an inside-out perspective to see who can stay and who needs to go. Why the decision-making process is as bad as it is. It's just a very frustrating situation to deal with and watch it every Sunday. It really is.
Yeah, you ain't kidding, Pops. We make it fun here. I enjoy talking to the Who Dat Nation, man. Regardless of whatever the games are, of course, if the Saints are winning, we're gonna have some fun, regardless or not. That's just how I am as a person.
Yeah.
We're gonna have some fun. I'm gonna hit them with some special effects. We're gonna tell some jokes. We'll put some movie references. Yeah, Pops, we're gonna have some fun in this.
We're gonna have some fun. We got to buy another set of drums to throw them down the step, because that set we threw down last week all tore up. The big bass drum is busted in the middle and everything else. The cymbal went one way and the tom-tom went the other way. So I don't know, it's just not good. Not good.
Yeah, it's definitely that, Pops. And yeah, that you're right. I'm gonna see if I could pull that special effect up too, because I usually have some of my special effects on tap, depending on how the Saints play in these matchups. It's just pure comedy, and nothing helps better than a good special effect to exemplify the point of how bad the Saints are. It kind of makes the family members laugh. And we need that as opposed to crying. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and emotion. They just go through the motion. Nobody has any crisp and snapped in their plays. I mean, just like the last week, the last team we played, they were snap, getting the ball out quick. We don't do that. We take our time. Our quarterbacks take too long. Guys get open. They don't get the ball to them in time. And it results in interceptions and knockdowns because the quarterbacks are holding the ball too long. I've seen that with Rattler. He holds the ball sometimes too long. Even Carr, when he was quarterbacking, he was holding the ball too long. The ball get batted out of his hand, all this kind of stuff. They just don't seem to have a sense of direction with this offensive side of the football.
Yeah, absolutely, Pops, man. As you're right, it's rainwater, man. I just watched this, man, and it's hard to watch at times, to be quite honest with you. Watching what this team do, man, is pathetic. To put it square. But man, what do you do? Where do you go with this? And of course, they got one final game. This was the last home game of the regular season, and you wanted to win that on a high note. You did not want to lose this game to a Raiders team the Saints should have beaten. This is a team where the Saints are supposed to beat this team. They're supposed to beat the Raiders. You look at a lot of the people talked about it. A lot of people believe that, this, if anything, this is a win you're supposed to get against the team in a regular season finale, the home game finale against the Raiders, a team that only won 3 wins. Yeah. And you let them come in here and beat you, what was it, 25-10? 13 or whatever it was, 25-10. So you get blanked last week, 30 whatever it was, and then 25-10. It's just poor.
You get blanked 34-0, then you come here and you lose to a 3-10 team that 25-10, and your offense just absolutely generated nothing. And, I don't understand who's the offensive coordinator and who's the offensive line coach. Those guys need to be replaced. We need new coaches. We need new coaches on the staff. I'm not going to say that Rizzi's the answer, but he got to make some major changes within his coaching staff, because I don't see where they're coaching, but these guys seem to be making the same simple mistakes that they've always made all season. Nobody's improving.
Yeah, unfortunately, this is true, Pops. I mean, it is no improvement. It's no accountability. Like I said, it's just going to be more of the same. You take a look at this Porsche team, and even though we lose, you're missing out on guys. You got to have effort, and we ain't seeing the effort. But let me play this. This might be something right here for the family members to pay attention to.
All right.
Can you hear this sound effect? Y'all want to check something.
That's it.
That's it.
That's it, brother. That's it.
That's what the Saints did today. It's offense right here.
What? That is completely psychotic. What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Oh man, that's how we do it in the Who Dat Nation, baby. We're gonna have fun regardless, man. We're gonna have fun, man. The hell with the Saints, man. The hell with the Saints. We're gonna have fun.
Yes, sir.
You're gonna be the source of the fun one way or the other. Just let me know. Whether you're winning or losing, you're gonna be the source of the damn fun. Let me just put it to you mildly. All right, we wait for Darren Rizzi to get up there and raspily talk about how pathetic the Saints look today. But outside of Spencer Rattler, how would you gauge his performance, Pops? We've seen what he did last week, this week. He really looked like a rookie out there staring people down, just trying to make plays, throwing in the double and triple coverage at times. How do you gauge Spencer's play today?
He needs training. He needs to be taught. Needs the quarterback's coach to pull him on the side, take him out on the practice field, and walk him through the fundamentals. It seems like he gets to the football and he snaps. He wants to stand there, and he takes too long to make decisions, and then the fix. And then and the most critical one is staring down the receiver. Well, the DBs, they're trained for that kind of stuff. So you staring down the receiver, and it only takes 3 seconds to look him up, to look him down, and then when you throw the ball that way, they own it. I mean,
right.
The Ravens dropped, I think, 3 other attempts. That Rattler threw it, and he had some picks, but they could have had more than that, because he continues to stare down the guys. And I think the reason it is because you don't have time to throw. Because I mean, like there was a couple of times guys blitz right straight on through. Nobody blocked him. Nobody picked him up.
Yeah, I seen that. That was one of them was Ruiz. One was Jamal Williams reading it, the blitz late. The other one was Cesar Ruiz. I think the play was Cesar Ruiz. He read it late too. But that's par for the course in terms of what we've seen from the Saints. And of course, the defense will do what they do up to a point, but that's a psychological effect. When you as a defense look across and see that the offense isn't even prepared to play the game. Like once again, the Saints last game, Green Bay, Monday night game, this is a short week, right? They played Monday and lost, they didn't get blowout, but they didn't show up in this game. Offensively, it was half-ass football again. Even it wasn't even half, it's like a quarter football. Because the only way they scored was off a trick play, and they weren't even close the rest of the way, and the offense kept them out of it, out of doing anything to be productive. When the Saints had decent offensive drives, they would then get stupid penalties. You have Ali Udo and Tali Fuaga and all these guys doing dumb stuff here. They hurt the team.
They
You know,
hurt
10
the-
penalties for 85 yards is inexcusable. You had 10 penalties for 85 yards in your own building. So I mean, when we talk about getting a coach, you want somebody that's going to come into this team and whip these guys into shape, and it ain't taking no bull. Who ain't taking no crap. Who ain't trying to be their friend. You know, I'm not. We're not going to be friends with losers here. We're not going to be a loser's friend here. So we need to get somebody here, get these other bums, get this Ali Udo garbage guy. I don't know how he's still on this team. This guy wasn't ready for football early in the year. He wasn't good for 4. He had penalties twice I think 2 or 3 penalties in the game went to Ali Udo, at least 2 of them. Yeah. He almost got caught on another one, a holding penalty. The guy's trash, but yet he's still on the team. So at the end of the day, man, like I said, we have a lot of work to do with this Saints, and the Saints have now lost 3 games in a row, and it will be 4 because Tampa Bay's playing for something. They playing for something. They ain't gonna let a team as bad as the Saints knock them down. The Saints can't even put together 2 simple offensive series that can get up and down the field. They can't even do it. And like I said to my people, that's gonna say, well, Q, with the injury situation, injury is gonna happen to your football team. It's not about injuries from that point. It's about effort. You have to have an intelligent effort. You got to be able to make sure everybody is practicing, not just the starters, but the backups practice too. They put them against the second team matchup with the second team offense and defense. That's how they do it. The backups play too. They practice too when the starters are practicing. So the backups have to be prepared to get in there and execute. They're supposed to know what the offensive guys know, just in case, or the defensive guys or whatever they're doing, just in case somebody gets hurt, because they got to understand that it's physical. And at times people get hurt, banged up, and you got to step in there for somebody. So it might be a drop off in talent from, because, you know, starters here and there, but effort and intelligence are supposed to be on the same line. That's why I don't play that stuff about that injuries. Your team built bad if you count on just the starters to win games and the backups too dumb to even know who they blocking. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Bob, that's the problem we got with the Saints. It's an accountability issue, and it won't be fixed by a special teams coach masquerading as a head coach. It won't be done. It's a reason why he's been a special team coach for the majority of his career. So that's my take on it. You want to add to that, Pops? They're about to put him up here in a few minutes anyway. We'll start hearing the
I'm good with you on that. It's just a shame, you know, it really is. And it's got to be addressed from the top. You know, it's time for these people that's been around since way before Drew Brees got here. Time for that manager. Time for these people to go. You got to bring fresh blood into the team, into the management, upper management. Got to bring somebody who can bring accountability to these guys. What you got now is not helping. These coaches are not. They're not paying attention to what the coaches tell them what to do. That's the only thing I can see what it is. The guy done cashed it in. They cash the chips in. Yeah, take my chips. I'm done.
Man, yeah, it's that's 3 in a row, family. That's 3 straight losses by the Saints. They got the final game of the regular season next week against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They got to go up to Tampa. This was the last of the home games for the Saints for the season, and a lot of people saying good riddance. The Saints were awful this season. And like I said, I just don't like how the disrespectful Mickey Lomas was to the support base that was legitimately concerned about the direction of the team. And this guy got up there and prattled off all those names of Hall of Fame coaches. And now that their guy, here go Rizzy. Let's hear what he got to say.
Down on the day, and they converted 10 out of 18. So that was a huge part of the game. It was a big emphasis coming in. We obviously didn't execute well enough in that area. We shot ourselves in the foot there in the first half a couple times with some penalties. We're off the field, you know, the first drive of the game, and then we got a defensive offsides, and then thought we had a little momentum going there at half. You know, before the half, we got 3 points into the half, and you know, came out second half, and then again couldn't get a scoring drive going, and at the end of the day, just disappointing. You know, we talked about time of possession coming into the game being a huge factor. And to their credit, to the Raiders' credit, they flipped the script on us. They had the ball for, 37 plus minutes. So, listen, just not a good enough effort by everybody today. like I said, certainly disappointing. And, I know a lot of people are going to put it all on the quarterback, but we really didn't give him much help today. So, unfortunately, suffered a couple injuries in the game. Kendra Miller, as you know, went out with a concussion. Scaling went out there at the end. He's getting checked on. Really, I think it was a re-aggravation of the same injury he had last week. We'll see what happens. Jalen Ford got a lower leg injury there on that punt cover. So we'll kind of see where he is at. So again, disappointing game. You can't score 10 points and win this league. So we got to find a way here in this last week to manufacture some more points. So that's where we're at.
Were there things they did differently in the second half defensively that you could point out as what gave you trouble?
No, listen, we didn't execute. We dropped some passes. We missed on a couple. Pass protection wise, I felt like Spencer never really got settled in there, and he was moving around, and he made some plays moving around, to his credit. But like I said, we had some drops. We had some penalties offensively that kind of stalled. If I'm not mistaken, we were over the 40-plus-40-yard line twice and had penalties that pushed us back into a punt situation. And, you're in a game like this, you got to come away with some points there when you're down there. And so I don't think there was a schematic thing that they did as much as it was an execution thing by us.
This could have been Cam's last home game, maybe. What did you notice from him today, and just didn't seem any different to you, like soaking it all in?
Nah, the one thing about Cam for the 6 years I've been here with Cam, the best thing I could say about Cam, he's the same guy every day. He's got a phenomenal attitude, phenomenal approach. He is as professional as they come. And again, you walk in our locker room every day, you would know what our record is by his approach and his attitude and his leadership. I hope he keeps playing, and I hope this isn't his last game at home. But I haven't seen anything different out of that guy. That guy's, again, best thing I can say about him is exactly what you're getting every day, and the consistency thing is why he's been so good at what he's doing.
How did you feel like Spencer played today overall?
I feel like it's a little bit hard to evaluate, to be honest with you. Before I watched the film, just watching with my eyes from the sideline, I didn't feel like we gave him a chance a lot of times. Some of those third downs, he did miss a couple of throws. Obviously, the throw that he has to, I think it was Cedric there, that got tipped up in the air, that gets picked off, and then the pass at the end. I know we had the OPI called on us. We were going to we were going to be in scoring range again there inside the 5-yard line, and we had the penalty. So it's going to be a tough evaluation. I think we're going to have to take a step back and look at it through a different lens, because I feel like there was a lot of times where he wasn't getting any help.
I know you may not have the answer right now, but what do you think is kind of needed for this defense to get back on track?
Really, consistency. There's been, we've had the peaks and valleys in the last 7 weeks. You saw some signs there from the front, 8 sacks in the Washington game. We thought we kind of remedied our run defense a little bit because that had been poor in the first half of the year. But then again today, if you had told me coming in, these guys were going to rush the ball for 158, that's not good. That's not a good formula for us. We thought that was going to be a strong point for us today, and it wasn't. I felt like everything they did, everything was falling forward 6, 7, 8 yards. So I would just say that the number one thing is just, consistency. Again, they had, first of all, they had 18 third downs, and they converted on 10 of them. And so the fact that they had we got them into 18 third down situations, if we're going to get off the field there and give the offense another chance and get the punt return team back out there, all those things, we just couldn't find a rhythm there on third down. To their credit, they converted, and we couldn't get them off the field. And I think that was really the number one stat when you look at the game, was the third down conversions, because those are like turnovers. And then again, we were 0 for 8. So I think you really don't have to look very much past that one statistic, really the stat of the day, in my opinion.
Darren, the time of possessions, 3 games in a row, you all kind of lost that. Is that just complimentary football not being complimentary enough for both sides?
Yeah, too many drives with 3, 4, 5 plays. Not enough sustain. Our third down had picked up there a little bit in about a month ago. We started to trend in the right direction, and I feel like these last few weeks we're kind of going backwards a little bit. Naturally, today is a great example, but that's really the time of possession really gets back to your third and manageables and then converting on those. And we just haven't done that. And so, like I said, I don't think that's, naturally the quarterback's going to get the majority of the blame on that. I don't think it's all on him.
Are you aware of they're like
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Yeah, I know a couple of coaches on their team. So I knew they got in late last night. So I think it sounded like they just went to bed and woke up, played. So.
On the defensive side of the ball, you're sensing
He
frustration.
ain't lying.
2 games in a row, these long drives. I think it was a 17-play drive again today. It's just not being able to get off the field. How has that been affecting that group?
Yeah, it's definitely frustrating. It's frustrating for everybody. I mean, we get into third, medium, third, long, and then all of a sudden the offense is up and the punt return team is up, and all of a sudden, boom, they convert. And so it's it's certainly deflating at times for sure when they're converting third downs. And it was the same story last week. We got into some third and mediums and longs, and then we had some penalties and things like that turned those into third and shorts. It happened again today. And so there's no doubt about it. It's definitely frustrating. And listen, they I think if I'm not mistaken, they were out there for 70 something plays and we were out there for 40 something plays. But that's a result of that. That's a result of not being able to convert, not being able to get off the field. So that's why I said in the beginning of this presser, I thought the pretty simple answer today. Not a really you don't have to do a deep dive on today's game.
Does the loss today change anything about how you guys maybe approach Derek, Alvin, Chris?
I really haven't. I'm still kind of soaking this one in. I haven't given a ton of thought to that. I can tell you all three of those guys in my conversation with them last week still had aspirations of playing. So,
How would you describe where you are? You just used the word deflating on the defense. Do you feel a little of that right now?
Oh, it's just only no one likes to be this result. The result is not what we're looking for. So anytime it's hard to be anything but when you don't have the result that you're coming in. I thought again we had a great practice week. We just haven't been. Our execution hasn't been good enough. So yeah, listen, it's frustrating and it's hard for me to see the players. That's the most frustrating thing for me. Those guys are obviously the ones that I care about the most. And so that's the most frustrating part. But yeah, listen, we got one left and we got to find a way to respond and rebound.
Kind of following up on that.
Yeah.
This has kind of been an audition for you as well. Do you worry about the way that these last few games have gone?
I really don't look at it like that. I know maybe from an outside perspective, you guys look at it like that, and you're right. But I can't concern myself with that right now. We'll coach this last week, take a step back, and then we'll evaluate the whole thing. And the powers to be will evaluate the whole thing, and we'll go from there. I'm not, I can't be overly concerned with that. I'm concerned about the guys in the locker room. That's what I'm concerned about. I'm pissed off and upset for them. All right, appreciate it, guys.
Thanks, Ken.
All right, that's Rizzy, man. We probably get another guy pop up here momentarily, but man, he talking about he pissed off for the guys in the locker room, man. What the hell are you pissed off for them for? What you pissed off for them for? You should be pissed off for us, the support base, for watching this garbage, for supporting you. What you mad for? I'm pissed off for the people in the locker room. Why? They're the ones contributed to it. How you pissed off for somebody that was contributing to the funk and the stank and the pissed off activity? How that work? Well, I'm pissed off at them because they gave me a pissed off performance. So I'm pissed off at them because, man, shut up. What you talking about? We are the ones that suffer because of this. These guys are still getting paid. What you pissed off for them? They're getting a check for this. They're getting a check for this. I'm pissed off for them. I ain't pissed off for them. Nothing. They did it to themselves. Personal accountability. What are you talking about, man? What are we talking about here? Personal accountability. They did this to themselves. The offense practiced all week, and they got up there and they stunk. And then we ain't worrying about Spencer Rattler. He's a rookie quarterback. Come on.
What changed in the second half?
I mean, we just beat ourselves. Even in that first half, we were moving the ball at will, run and pass game, putting it together, and just penalties, some missed throws, some drops, just some identification stuff. We just got to overall be better in all those areas.
Do you feel like it was a general improvement of your performance? Was kind of happy you were saying Monday, but
Yeah, I mean, happy with the loss. We only scored 10 points, and had some plays that could have went our way but didn't. Frustrating, very frustrating, but what else can you do? I mean, they played better than us today, and especially in that second half.
Did you feel like personally yourself getting more and more frustrated as the game was going on, and does that play out in your performance? You know what I mean?
I mean, everybody's frustrated. Just keep going. Couldn't catch a rhythm really in that second half. Third quarter, fourth quarter, couldn't catch a rhythm. Shot ourselves in the foot multiple times throughout the game. And I mean, yeah, it's frustrating, but you got to have good body language. I mean, there was certain times I could have definitely been more, not showing as much frustration, but it's tough. And, I just try to keep the guys up. It's not like we're going out there just to go 3 and out every time. And then obviously there in that fourth quarter and the third quarter, it's tough being backed up when they're playing soft and then teeing off, and drop back, knowing we're going to throw. So a lot of areas we need to clean up overall. I thought we did good in the first half, obviously not in the second.
Can you talk about the touchdown pass?
Yeah, I mean, that was a great play call. Played out just like we practiced it for a few weeks, and I thought that got us some good momentum. And, the next drive we got down there and then just kept getting penalties. And, I thought we could have scored again, but, penalties killed us.
How do you stay up when you have momentum and then you keep having something when stopping the drives?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. When you're backed up, second and long, third and long, you just got to keep chipping at it. Had some opportunities there to make some plays, but, obviously we didn't. And, their time of possession was much better than ours. And, they controlled the game, and, we got to be better as an offense.
I know you want to see results with wins and everything, but how much is this playing time, this experience helping you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's helping. If you playing games, it's definitely helping. Obviously sucks that don't have a win so far, but that one was frustrating because we had a good short week, wanted to come in, expected to win, and didn't. So frustrating for sure. All right.
Thanks, Patrick.
Yep.
Like I said, man, Spencer Rattler's a rookie quarterback. So it's nothing about Spencer Rattler to even talk about. It's a rookie quarterback with no running attack. He was his running attack today. I mean, the dude he scrambled 3 times for 46 yards. The closest running back in terms of yards was Clyde Edwards-Helaire, 5 carries for 20 yards. Spencer Rattler had 3 scrambles for 46 yards. He averaged over 15 yards every time he scrambled. So he was his own running attack. He didn't have a running attack, and he's a rookie quarterback. So, I mean, what's more to talk about there? And then nobody going to blame, well, Spencer Rattler, such and such. Nah, we put this where it belongs on bad preparation. This team is not prepared to play. It's as simple as that. They're not prepared to play football. Last week, Monday, they wasn't prepared to play, and they got handled by Green Bay. In Green Bay, they come home to the Dome and lose to a 3-win Raider team that they really should have won. But in the end, the Saints are now on 3-game losing streak. They got Tampa Bay on the road for the final game of the season. And this has been a catastrophic year. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It is all about effort. It has nothing to do with injury. It's about effort. Effort. Guys get hurt. Next guy's got to step up. It's about IQ and effort. That's the difference. We don't have that on this team. We don't have accountability. We don't have high IQ. We don't have high IQ effort. We don't have those things because too many people are making excuses and are not accountable. I can't express this enough. That Mickey Loomis cannot allow to touch this team talking about fixing the team when he the one that destroyed the team. You can't let him sit up here and pretend that he had nothing to do with this, because there will not be any there won't be any apologies from Mickey Loomis or from even Darren Rizzi get up there and tell you that he's upset for the players, and the players are the one that did this. They're the ones that's responsible for this nonsense. How is that possible? The people you need to be apologizing to is the support base. that keeps supporting this team and dealing with funk, going down there to these games and dealing with trash and low IQ effort, all in an attempt for them to keep making money with a trash garbage project. This is terrible. This is awful. All this is bad, but we cannot allow Mickey Loomis to escape. Him and Lauscher to escape from up under this thing. Here go Demario Davis. Let's hear what he had to say. See what kind of word he bringing.
I'm gonna start with a message. In this game, when you play for a lot of different teams, what you understand is there's a difference in fans and there's a difference in family. And one thing I love about playing in New Orleans since the time I got here is the majority of our fan base is family. And what I mean by that is fans usually get on the road with a team when they're hot. Family is with you through the good times and the bad times. And there's no secret that our team is in a dark time right now. And when you're in dark times, everyone is looking for the same thing. You're looking for light and you're looking for direction. And what I'm hoping to offer over these next few minutes is a little bit of light and a little bit of direction. The Bible says that weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. And what that means is when things aren't going the way that you want them, you cannot panic. You have to know that something greater is going to come. And if anyone knows anything about business, you know that the market goes up and down, up and down.
What?
And those who win,
bro, what are you talking about, man?
When things are going down. That is the great thing about this organization and this family, is that when things aren't going the way that we want them, there will be no panic. I trust
Stop the cap.
Our organization, because some organizations, when they fall off, they never return. But if you look at the great organizations across any league, give them time, they always rise back to being that contender. And so a word to the family is, I understand our frustration. That's because we have been contenders.
DeMario, what was
this
at during the 7-game losing
not a
streak,
false
bro?
expectation.
What was this at?
But the message is also that we can't panic, that we can't worry. We have to stay together. We have to stay united, and we have to trust that we will rise from this. We will get back to what we all desire to be.
Bro, what are you talking
We have the right decision makers to do that.
What?
If you just look at the team, we draft well. We do great in free agency.
No,
and
you
if
don't
you look
draft
across
well.
the game, that is what sustains teams over the long haul. Continuity, drafting well, bringing the right guys in. And at the right time, we will rise. Light will come again. So we won't panic.
What?
We won't jump ship. We'll
Bro,
continue
what are you
to charge.
talking about,
We'll
man?
continue to move straight ahead.
Bro, I'm
Looking
out,
to
man.
finish the season 1-0, and then we'll go from there. That's my message. Any question?
Yeah, what was this at early in the year?
Is there a fine line between not panicking and having a sense of urgency, though, to get things turned around?
Great question.
I believe you can't do anything in a marathon or a sprint without a sense of urgency. Urgency is not in a rush to get things done. It's a rush to do things right. It's discipline.
What?
Doing the little things
Bro,
over
what are
and
you
over and
talking
over.
about, man?
And that's what sometimes is hard to do, is to get up and do the little things correctly over and over and over, even when you're not getting the results that you want. Because what happens is sometimes when you don't get the results, you start to change the process. But results is a byproduct of the product. The real product is the process.
What?
What?
Fight the frustration.
Bro, what are you
Game
talking
like
about,
this.
man?
Is that
What are you
the
talking
enemy, the being frustrated and letting that get to you? But I
See,
think it's
this
gotta be
is
hard
this
to
is the
fight that
bullshit
off,
I'm
though,
talking
in a
about with
game like
Demario
this, right?
Davis.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Adversity. That's why I always say football is the greatest teacher of life. Imagine being at the end of your season and playoffs are nowhere in sight. And
Like right now?
as much as you try, it seems that things don't turn. How do you continue to show up? But imagine being in life and you feel like you're doing everything right. You eat right, you die right, and then your body gets sick, and now you're in the hospital. Or you're living right, and all of a sudden your child gets sick. Or you're trying the best you can, and all of a sudden your relationship's on the rock. How you gonna respond? Is either you're gonna get right if you weren't right, or you're gonna have to try to figure out how to remain right when, even though you were doing right, it seems like everything's going off course. The challenge is to not allow dark times to bring in dark thoughts, because dark times is outside of you. Dark thoughts is inside of you. And once you allow the fiction inside, that's when you have a real battle. Because now it's just you versus you. You want to keep it to where it's the battle versus me versus the negative thoughts. I want to keep it out.
Man, you can't get away from
and that's hard to do
man.
in dark times.
That's the test. That's the test. What you talking about, Demario? What you talking about? You making excuses. You're gonna be tested in life, man. What you talking about, man?
Individually, I would be lying if I said it hasn't been challenging. But that's where my faith comes in strongest. And that's why I'm always encouraging my teammates, my friends, my peers, that at some point in your life, something is going to go wrong. And you're going to need something to hold on to. And the only thing that I have seen in this world that doesn't change is God and Jesus Christ. He doesn't change. He is always the same. Every time I go and look at his word, it says the same truth. Now, it's on me to conform to it.
Brother, you mixing messages.
And
man.
In dark times, you have to realize that at the end of it all, it's going to be about his glory. And so, will it change tomorrow? I hope. But what if it doesn't? How will I sustain tomorrow if it doesn't change? How will I sustain tomorrow if my hope is tomorrow that it'll change? And it doesn't. At the end of it all,
bro, what are you talking about, man?
Where I'll reside.
Bro,
and that's
I'm
what
out,
my
man.
Heavenly Father.
That nigga's tripping.
So hope isn't based on it will change tomorrow. I just know in the end, it's going to be good. Now, I may get a chance to experience that tomorrow, which is my hope. And if not tomorrow, the next day. But nothing will ever kill my hope because it's based in something that's eternal.
What do you think leads to games like this week or last week and in a stretch early in the season when it just feels like the tackling woes hit the entire defense? I mean, does the struggles compound themselves? Does that sap energy or
I think every game is different. It's a simple game. Make more plays than the other team, and you have to give them credit when they make those plays. Just like we get paid to make plays to stop them, they get paid to make those plays, not let us stop them. And so you want to be the better team on each Sunday, and this one we weren't.
How about today in particular? Why do you think tackling was a problem?
I would have to go and look at the tape to see. To know exactly what it was, which plays. It'd be hard to cast a wide net of what the issue was today.
And just a part of the overall puzzle, I'm sure. I know Tyron mentioned, especially because all the injuries this year, it's been a lot more walkthroughs in practice. It's hard to walk through in practice and play in a game. Has that been anything that you think has contributed this year?
I think our coaches have done a good job of making sure that we were prepared for the games. I don't think we came into any game where we weren't prepared.
What are you talking about, man?
That's been from the beginning of the season to the end of the season. I think
psychotic.
Man, listen, I never shut Demario Davis off before, but we're going to stop him on that one. We're going to pump the brakes on him on that one. Listen, brother, let me tell you something, man. The reality is I come from a family that are very religiously intelligent. You see what I'm saying? What you doing, you mixing messages here. Football is football, and the Bible is the Bible. In football, we adhere to the principles of accountability, right? This what I don't I do like the positivity message because I'm all about that. But listen, accountability reigns supreme when you're talking about business and especially when you talk about sports. Accountability reigns supreme. There is absolutely no way that you will be allowed to come in here and talk about joy cometh in the morning and all this kind of rhetoric with one game left in the regular season. Where the hell was your ass at when the Saints were losing 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 games? Where were you at with that message? Because from my take and information I have is Demario Davis was always down with Dennis Allen. He didn't step to him on no aggressive manner to stop this from happening inside of the building. Tyrann Mathieu and Demario Davis was two of Dennis Allen's biggest supporters. Now you don't have the right to step before the Who Dat Nation and tell them about we this, that, and the third. No, you do not draft well. That's why you're in this predicament. So no, that is a mistruth. You don't know what you're talking about, man. You are too close to it and not nearly objective. You can't tell the support base after 4 funky years of dirty, stinking, rotten football to be patient because the light's coming. Oh my goodness, family, the arrival is coming. And you're going to see a mysterious gravity of excellent proportions when the Saints super ship comes and pick us all up and take us to heavenly abode of supreme Super Bowl serenity. No, this is not going to fly here because we from the reality world where accountability reigns supreme. And this is a part of the game where I get on Demario Davis because a lot of people let Demario and Tyrann Mathieu make it. Y'all notice I don't. I've been hitting them with the fact that they've been protecting this losing. I've been showing you the hypocritical nature of the words that they say. No, you can't tell us that, man. When you sitting up here taking a check, he getting deposits after shitty performances like this. They're getting paid for this, man. So we're not getting anything but loss of our time supporting you guys. That's what's going on. They get paid after every trifling stinking loss that they do. So how hypocritical and ridiculous is it for him to step before you and tell you that things is going to get better? And he is the one that don't speak up on nothing at. He don't go against anything that they say. Everything they say, he goes with it, but covers it in the veneer of religion. I told y'all about that. His faith, your faith is one thing, and how you perform on the field is a whole nothing. Now, you can use your faith to empower you, but you're not supposed to use it when you're delusional to the point where you telling people about stuff that's not true. That is not true about the draft. That is not true about your performances that you've seen today on this field, where you get blown out 34-0 on Monday night, then you get beat by the Raiders, a team with 3 wins, 25-10 today. You can't stand up here and tell us about be patient. In an organization with Mickey Loomis that's constantly being disrespectful to the Who Dat Nation and the support base. We supposed to believe in him? I told y'all, man. We ain't those people no more. See, they still thinking like you, the old people, like you thinking like the old supporters. We're not them no more. This is I keep telling them the same thing. Like when the people was telling you, oh, they won't fire Dennis Allen. They ain't fired the coach in the middle of the year since 1980, blah, blah, blah. I said, that's going to change this year. Don't you believe it? And what happened? They put him on the street because it's not driven off of what they do. It's about what you do. I keep telling you that. It all comes back to you. There is no other more empowering message than that it all is in your hands. The mere fact that you would sit up here and talk about hope as opposed to results, we don't leave it up to hope. It's all driven on what you do as a person. Like if you get up every morning and say, I hope I get my bills paid, like Dick Gregory said, guess what's going to happen to you? You're going to find yourself homeless. It ain't got nothing to do with hope. You got to put in work with action, smart action. That's how you get results. And this, what we seeing here, this is placation. This is excuse making, using a religious overture and over a thin layer of religion on top of failure. Most I don't get behind that, man. We don't get behind that. We don't support losers of any order. And they miss me with that. Your faith is your faith, but what I see on this field, that's two different things. You mixing these messages, and you're not supposed to be mixing these messages here, because one is definitely conflicting with the other one. That's what's going on. That's why I'm saying stop the cap. That's why I'm hitting the button on, hey man, what are you talking about, man? What are you talking about here? This is football. You know, it's just like I told y'all, man. I've been telling y'all about these people. I told you about Demario Davis. He don't open his mouth and say nothing negative about the Saints. And now you're making excuses for him at the end of the season. That's what these people do. They still collecting a check. You can be as faithful as you want to be when you collecting that goddamn check. You can go out there and lose and lose and lose and lose, and at the end of the day, they still get paid. So you say, well, they can afford, they talking about his patience. But like I said, you take the loss different than they do. They get paid and they running out the string. He talking about in the future, that dude ain't going to be here after another year. His contract is over. What is he talking about? The future. Saying, man, don't let these people tell you all that, man. And my good people out there that got good religious intelligence, don't let these people throw this BS at you. Y'all know that was a bunch of tripe. That was a bunch of garbage that man got up there and was saying, man. Come on, man. We don't play that. We don't want to hear that. All right. All right. Shout out to you, Jamie. Thank you, man. It says, let's ask the hard questions. Who coming to NOLA next year for some of these sticks of Roman candy? Bro, a lot got to go on here, bro. To NOLA, we'll see, bro. A lot has to be worked out because this is ridiculous and stupid all at the same time, man. All this is stupid. But Demario Davis to get up there and see, I disrespect the hell out of Demario for that, because that made no sense for him to get up there on that podium and try to issue patience and tell you to be patient. And he got one game left in the year that they're not going to, what he said, not going to panic. What do you mean you're not going to panic? That's why the report asked him the question, what's the difference between that and having a sense of urgency? And that stumped him. Then he went to some BS about the difference, and it didn't even make any sense because he's just making up stuff. He trying to collude religion and football and stuff together, and it didn't even sound right. One is conflicting with the other. Ain't nothing you going to do in life. If you talking about the Most High don't come with losing, man. Now you'll get tried. You'll get tried with what you call darkness, period. But some people see darkness as there's more darkness than there is light. If you look up in the solar system, you see a blanket of darkness and a few specks there of light. But it depends on your philosophy or where you coming from, how you interpret one versus the other. And another thing is you are supposed to be tested on this realm. That's how you develop into a diamond. You have to deal with whatever life pressures you. You have to be tested. That's just how it's set up. So ain't no running away from no darkness, man. What you talking about? You're gonna be tested. You making up stuff. So I mean, like I said, I don't want to hear nothing from Demario. That's why I cut the mic off on his ass, because you can't, man. You talking foolish, man. You talking foolish talk, man. You can't talk to me about that. I know all about that, man. I'm studied up on all that, man. You can't pass that garbage over here. Trying to mix football talk with religion, and they both conflict, and that's why your answers sound stupid. You can't talk to us about that when you a guy that was advocating and promoting Dennis Allen even when he was losing and the team was losing. He didn't bat not one word in difference to the losing. But then he opened up his mouth when right now with one game left at the end of the year and the team having two terrible performances and tried to tell you about have faith in the team. Are you kidding me? Fake. Let me, Demario, I got a personal message to you that should be able to reach you, and you'll get this one. Faith without works is dead. You have no works. Faith without works is dead. I know you get that one, huh? That killed everything you got to say. Shout out to you, Jamie. Shout out to you, man. We're going to have to see, man, because we have to see who the decision makers are. They have to be a change on the top. We can't have the same dude that burned the building down in charge of building a new one, right? Thank you for your super chat, man. Appreciate that.
I want to say thank you
Praise
very much. Picking me up, bringing me
Just
back
making
to
up
me.
excuses, man. Just making up excuses. Don't use the Bible as excuse make. Don't do that, man. That's not how we supposed to do that. Black preacher man, there you go. Black preacher man, excuse. He was just up there using the Lord name in vain. I know, brother. Black preacher man, the brother was up there lying, man. He was bending Bible verses and Christian philosophy into excuse making to justify failure from the team. That's what you just seen that dude doing. And I'm not, you're not gonna get away with that, man. Because some people that's listening, they just tune them out. They just tune them out and say, whatever. That's just him going on that such and such. You can't do that, man. That is wrong, bro. That's dangerous too, to do that. You're not doing nothing positive about what you said or what you did, man. That's all wrong what you talking about. You don't know what you're talking about, man. Thank you, Black Preacher, man. Appreciate you, bro. Thank you, man. Give you a round of applause for that, bro. Shout out to Black Preacher, man, bro. If anybody know about the Bible, it's Black Preacher, man. That's terrible, man. Anyway, Pops, swing it back to you. What do you thought about the press conferences, man? It's just this. I just really don't like it because they come with the excuses. They come with the junk, and all of Demario Davis is a glorified religious veneered company man. That's all he is. He doesn't say anything, one word against the team when they failing. And over the last 4 years, there's nothing but failure. But then attempts to sway and throw out bullshit about this, that, the third to the Who Dat Nation. That's totally ridiculous. This is a glorified company man. He don't say anything in the contrary of all the losing they had over the last 4 years. Doesn't say anything. Just come with this bull with no facts, no evidence, with everything against you. You ignore all that and just say this, that, and the third. No, it's not going to get better. It's not going to get better until you face the issues and solve them. That's how you're supposed to do it. That's with right action. What is this guy talking about? But anyway, Pops, let me give you the floor, man. Let you comment on what you heard from this guy. What you think?
Well, his first thing, he's out of context based on what's happening with the team right now. The steady losing, and nobody's addressing, like I said, the play of the team. They what they're doing, they're patting on that, we did this, we should have done that, we didn't execute. But I never see any coach, from Dennis Allen, any of those coaches like they got now going and getting in these guys' backside to tell them, hey, look, man, you can't do this. I know how to hold your water. Don't just because Jim Moore used to pour oil on. When he was coaching, he poured oil on some of those players. Hey, look, you can't block somebody. I heard several times when he was on the sideline, tell people, block somebody. Hit that guy, do something, block somebody, pick yourself up. And these guys, they're out there to collect a paycheck. I mean, you got a team that only have 3 wins, run all over you, and then you couldn't run the ball because you don't have the quality of the offensive line that you need. And then for Jamario to say that, putting it in those context terms, it is a misunderstanding. I was listening to him say that stuff, but it had absolutely nothing to do with the fact that you're losing the game. If you disagree with what the company man do, your boss, we have disagreement process. We could talk to our boss, tell them, hey, look, we don't agree with this. But you sitting there, if it's like you said, and he's not addressing some of the things. He's one of the leaders of the team. He's not addressing what's causing the problem. But you know what? You might as well keep quiet, man, because what you said, it just doesn't apply in the context of the moment, of the fact that you got a game. You're letting the games get away from you. Nobody's really fighting real hard. And I attribute that to what? They done cashed in the chips. They gone. They're waiting for the offseason to come so they can find out what's going to go. And so far as Mickey Loomis, and I agree with you, son. He needs to go. He cannot manage the team. They got the team in a messed up financial situation. It's going to be hard even for the next guy to come in and try to straighten some of this stuff out. But it all starts with them getting a coach that's willing to get these guys and get them on the right foot. Because the new year coming in, you can't start the new year, the new season coming in with the same guys, the same management staff. You can't do it because the new people coming in, they're gonna fall right under their path, and they're gonna want to do the same thing. We cannot have another losing season with these guys in charge of this team, and they must be removed. Ms. Gail got to make some tough decisions. Then she's gonna have to move some people out.
Yeah, I agree, Pops. Tough decisions, or you can't go on. And like I said, I've said this, is that who Tom Benson left her with is not the same guys. When Tom Benson died, a lot of these guys were in pocket where he was still alive because they didn't move against him because they knew not to. But with Gail Benson running the team, they're behaving badly. Tom Benson Tom Benson was the ultimate guy who talked about, that's how he built his fortune selling those cars. He was well known for being a person that gave not only a good deal, but he's also was super serious in his customer support.
Yeah,
he believed in dealing with the public and being 100% square with the public and keeping it real. That's how he gained his fortune of being that type of dude. There was no part of what Mickey Loomis is doing as a general manager and a VP, how he talks to the media, that Tom Benson would not, if he was still alive, he would berate that guy for that, how he talking to him. He would berate them. He's out of pocket right now because he feels like he's empowered to be, because the thing that kept him in check, Tom Benson, is long gone. So he believes he could talk to you or the media any kind of way or do what he wants to do. And that needs to change. So Gail Benson has some tough decisions to make. It's pressure on Gail to sell the teams. It's pressure on her to get it right. And she needs to do something. You cannot allow Mickey Loomis, and I've said this for a while, at least for the last couple of years. This is nothing new. When people was afraid to go at Mickey Loomis or President Lauscher, whoever these people is, I was going at them because I knew where the problem was. You can't talk about bad coaches like Dennis Allen without talking about the people that hired them. Nobody hires that coach that knows what they're doing. And you have Brian Flores and all these other guys that you interviewed, and that was the best of the bunch that you hired. Man, none of this happens without the guys above them. There would be there'd be no Dennis Allen if it wasn't for Mickey Loomis and Dennis Lauscher allowing them to do it. So we attack where the problem is, which is Mickey Loomis cannot be allowed to remain general manager and have anything to do with team building. You can't allow his philosophies that he's been using over the last several years to be what then moves the team forward, because he still believes that the team, only the reason why the team failed was injury-wise, which is not the truth. The team doesn't have an accountability. Most of the time they're dumb and undisciplined. Let's just keep it a buck. They're dumb and undisciplined. Then there's no accountability here. When coaches fail and make bad calls or do what they do, they don't get handled. They don't get taken care of. Guys don't get demoted. The only guy got demoted was Grantham. You mean to tell me how the Saints been looking? Only Grantham deserved to be demoted? There was a lot of guys that deserved to be demoted. There were players that deserved to be demoted and cut. Yeah. But none of this happens because the guy don't know what he's doing. You don't turn him over to the rebuild, because all he's going to do is try to keep the timeline, what he has established, going, and only will hire personnel that will agree to that timeline. That's the problem. Mm-hmm. You only gonna hire guys that agree to what he set up, which is to keep working with the draft picks and cheap draft selections or signings and free agency for the next 2 to 3 years before we get out of cap hell, who he set us on the course for. He did the Derek Carr thing. He did all this stuff. And at the end of the day, the Saints are penciled in and gripped in with this whole philosophy. So like I said, that's why I question them to not do that. Gail can't allow that to happen. It's a lot on her because she also has to deal with the Pelicans too, and they both stink. So the Saints stink, the Pelicans stink, and once again pops the question is, who wins the 6 games? The Saints, I thought the Saints will beat the Raiders to get off of both the professional teams. The Saints are 5-11, the Pelicans are 5-27. Both teams are stuck at 5 wins. Isn't that crazy?
That's crazy.
Isn't that crazy? So the Saints obviously not going to get it because they're not going to be Tampa. So by default, the Pelicans will win, because eventually they'll play the Washington Wizards in the 2nd or 3rd of the year, and they probably would win that game right there. So this is both ridiculous stuff with these franchises. It's pressure on her to sell, because obviously she either get a team that know what they're doing, or the tickets and people going to continue to not support the team. And I continue to ask people for the Pelicans and Saints to boycott games. Do
Well,
not
what
go to
is
any of
this?
these games.
What is who is this person? I heard something about them. Somebody wanting to trying to make a bid to buy the team. I don't know who the guy was.
It's the owner of the Houston Rockets.
He wants to buy the New Orleans Saints.
Wants to buy the Saints. He offered. They told him they're not for sale.
Right.
So
I would respect it because he probably would have moved them.
They can't.
You know.
You can't. They're locked in. That's a clause within the contract that was signed with the NFL that if the contingent upon the selling of the team, that the team cannot be moved from Louisiana. It can't be moved from New Orleans. That's the only that's written in the agreement that Gail has written there because she has no heirs. So if she does sell the team must remain with the city, with the state, and they got the same agreement with the Pelicans.
Now, and also, son, I think that with regard to the Saints, they have so many good benefits. I mean, they virtually own the Dome. They virtually own the Smoothie King Center, so they wouldn't have any option to move. So even if they brought another owner in, he might give us some. He might give us some. Do things in his way to bring some more coaches in here, or somebody who can get these guys motivated. Move the ones out that's too old. I mean, these coaches know who old and who's not old. They know this. True. So pretty much they could say, well, we're gonna try to bring some younger guys in here, and you got to take his spot. I'm giving you a challenge to take his job. I mean, that's what competition is all about. I'm trying to get you. I'm trying to get your position. I want your job. And that's competition. That's competition.
Yeah,
and
they
basketball too. The team.
Yeah, Pops. They don't go. They don't. That's the whole thing about what we talked about. Like when you had Dennis Allen here, he was shielding Derek Carr from competition from Spencer Rattler. He felt like the populace loved Spencer Rattler. So if Derek Carr ever struggled, people would be yelling from the stands to have Spencer to replace Derek Carr. Spencer won the backup job. So Dennis Allen seen that and made him the emergency quarterback, turned Hayner into a buffer so that if he struggled, you wouldn't hear the Rattler thing. I told people about that. That's off-code behavior because that directly violates even the coaches that believe in the competition protocol, which is if you compete, I'll compete a guy for a job, you get the job. No ifs, ands, buts about it. That right there, he spit on that. He stepped on it. And he did off-code bullshit like that all the time because it's not inbred in him.
Yeah.
He's not a fundamental guy. He's a backstabber. He's a weasel. That's why the team undermined him and threw him out. He should have been fired last year when he apologized to the Falcons. But dumb leadership allowed him to stay and had another wasted year before he got fired in the center of the year after 7 games when he should have been fired after last year. And really after the 3 to 4 games, he should have been fired to salvage the season. Once again, this is lack of vision. This is all Mickey Loomis because he's the VP and GM. You can bring Lauscher because Lauscher's supposed to be overseeing them, but the Saints are built wrong. I've been saying it for a very long time. And the only way to make these people understand, because they only listen to you taking money away from them.
Yeah.
That's all they care about is the money. That's why they constructed that way. That's why you got a businessman as the president of the Saints and Pelicans team, because they're using the team as a vestige to get rich. So if the team underperforms, they just spend the excuses and then give you hopium for the next year. Yeah, we had these injuries and all this kind of stuff where the tenets is you're never supposed to use injuries as an excuse for professional sports. Never.
No.
That's what depth charts are for. That's what trades are for. That's what signings of free agents and practice squad people are for. That's what it's about. They're never supposed to use that. And they would tell you at the start of the year, but by year end, they're already leaning into it.
Mm-hmm.
So like I said, it's a culture change that's definitely needed here. Ain't no doubt about it. But you can't put Mickey Loomis in control of it because there's zero faith of how poorly he handled the whole Dennis Allen situation. And when Dennis Allen got fired deservingly, he was there spending excuses for him, talking about he's a good coach and all this kind of stuff. It severely undermined any good press or any good idea or mentality people had about him after that.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So he handled it totally poorly. And yes, indeed, he's taking advantage of Gail Benson. Absolutely. Like I told the ladies in the chat, I was like, if you go to a mechanic shop and you're not a mechanic and you're telling them about your vehicle and all this kind of stuff, best believe they will take advantage of you. That's why I be cautioning the ladies, if they got a man, let the man go in there, because they won't do that with him. But if a lady got one and she taking it to a car shop, they will take advantage of you. It's the same thing that happening right now with her. Nikki Loomis, Dennis Lausch, and all these clowns, they're taking advantage of her, just like David Griffin with the Pelicans. They're taking advantage of her because they know she don't know. That's what they said. They would not do this to Tom Benson. I promise you that. They would not do it.
Tom would have had him
wouldn't
go.
do it.
Yeah.
They
I
wouldn't do it.
don't have any. If that clause is there, I don't have any problem with seeing them change ownership to we can get new blood in here. They bring in a new coach. And if I, as a new owner, I'd start from scratch. All the coaches need to go, and let me start from scratch. I'm gonna take my lumps, but I'll be able to build my program the way I want to do it. But I know she's not going to sell a team. I'm just saying, hypothetically, if she would, if we that would be a big improvement if we can get an owner with the mindset that I want to build these two franchises into winners. What else can we do? We can't continue to do this, losing money. We bleed money. Pelicans bleed money right now. They can't win. They're not winning. They get to the end of the game and they can't close out games. It's a sad situation. Saints the same way. They can't close out games.
Yeah, that's leadership. That's you need a coach that keeps everything together. You don't have that.
Right.
You don't have a coach that knows offense, defense, special teams. You don't have that. You need a coach that's accountable. You need a coach that's going to tell the truth. You need a coach that's going to go in and railing on them players that are not doing their job or want to collect a check after the game is over with. You got to recognize those players and get those players off your team.
Right.
People that's playing for checks and making excuses.
That's exactly right.
And
it's infectious. It's infectious too. If someone, the kids in that, young kids coming to the team and they see that this owner, he's just doing just enough to keep his paycheck. He might tackle a couple of guys just to get out of place and just to make it. They get consistent like that too. Why should I continue to tackle these guys and he's not doing his job? And it gets contagious in there before your team ends up being 5 and 12, 5 and 11. It'll soon be 5. It'll be 5 and 12.
Gonna be 5 and 12. I have no faith that they'll beat Tampa Bay. They can't even put together two consistent offensive series.
No,
I don't anticipate them beating Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And now they can't stop.
Especially at home.
Yeah,
they will not beat them at home because Tampa Bay reads them. The coach from Tampa Bay reads them like a book. And he knows all the plays they're gonna run. They have nothing new to offer, nothing new to make a team think, to make these defensive players think about what they're doing. They just run the same vanilla plays over and over again. And then after that, then they constantly losing because the players are not executing right. They're not executing as they should, and they're losing.
A part of the game is too. It's just to do what you're supposed to do. Like it ain't difficult to do it. If you got a coach that's not coaching well, fire the coach, get the next guy in there. It's as simple as that.
Right.
But it becomes at some point, then you recognize what they're doing because a lot of the decisions that's supposed to be done in business are now being personal. Like a lot of decisions that Mickey Loomis did was to just be adversarial against the Who Dat Nation. Like we would talk about firing Dennis Allen. He was at some points just doing motions to be adversarial against the Who Dat Nation. He took a lot of the comments about him personal, and they were justified comments because you're not going to get any credit or any accolades of salutations and goodness and all this kind of stuff when your team is underperforming for the last 4 years. When you had a team that was supposed to be a playoff on the line of a playoff team and they repetitively losing these games. You're not going to get any good accolades for that. You're not. So you can't sit up here and be thin-skinned with how you feel about what people are saying because they're justified in it. And a great deal of 90+% of what a lot of the intelligent Who Dat Nation family members are saying are spot on because they know the team. Sometimes even better than some of these guys supposed to be coaching them because they're not directly right up on them. where they too close to the pitcher.
Right.
You know, so in the end, I mean, it is this what this is supposed to be? It's supposed to be a bottom out, like I talked about it. This is supposed to happen because it needs to show up the lack of leadership, the fact that this man don't know what he's doing, the Dennis Lauscher problem. If they're built differently, if you got an intelligent owner, she needs to get her stuff together and look around and hire a team. She needs to take these people down. There was a breakage in trust with Mickey Lomas. That's why she went over his head and told him to fire Dennis Allen. That was a breakage of trust because Mickey Lomas didn't want to do it. That's big, according to what they were saying at the time. And this is still off the street, that she does have some people that, you know, that helped her, facilitate that. And there's at odds in the building between the two. You got to have people that know football and that's in that building, not one dude, Mickey Loomis, that's too old, that they need to move beyond. This can't happen. This can't happen, man. Bad contracts, tore up salary cap for the next 2 to 3 years. Old agent team with like Demario Davis, dude, loaded up with excuses, no accountability and none of his commentary. And that's supposed to be a cue. That's a key Christian principle, is accountability. That's what it's all built on, man. Being accountable in life. If you're not accountable, you ain't handling your business. Guess where you go. Guess where you go. So I mean, he can miss me. He can miss me with all that bullshit he was talking. And like I've been telling y'all, that dude's a company man. I've been telling y'all that. That dude don't open his mouth. And when he talking about we're not going to panic. Like, you're not going to panic. What are you talking about? You got one game left. You've been out of the playoff picture. You sit up here 5-11. You're talking about you're not going to panic. What are you talking about, fool? This dude, I told y'all, this dude is a glorified company man using his religion as a veil. He's a company man. He don't bat against none. He don't rail against no disasters that's going on the team. He was Dennis Allen's one of his biggest supporters, both him and Tyrann Mathieu. I've been telling y'all this guy is a company man. He never says anything. He wasn't doing what Marshawn Lattimore was doing. He wasn't doing what Elvin was doing. He wasn't even though Cam was walking the fence, he wasn't doing that. That dude was quiet when they were falling through the floor. He was giving Dennis Allen all his full support. You know, and like I told you, I said, that dude is the kind of dude that when you walking with them and he walking up to a volcano as opposed to, and you about to walk off the cliff, he would be the one that leads you right into the volcano. He wouldn't say, hold on, y'all, this got some hot shit around here. We about to fall off up in here. He'll just walk right off into the volcano. That's what kind of dude that is.
Yeah.
That's what kind of dude that is.
You know nothing's going to happen to him, so he can do what he wants. Yeah.
You got the ball. We about to got some hot shit around here. Temperature going up around here. That's all right. Just keep marching ahead. Yeah, that's all right. We're gonna keep marching ahead. Everybody falling in there, burning up, yelling. That's all right. Ignore that. Don't worry about none of that. We're not gonna panic. We just gonna keep falling off. And man, shut up, man. What are you talking about? That foolish rhetoric you talking about, man. That made no sense, man. Cut it out, man. But anyway, man, Pop's last thoughts before we close out the stream.
Well, obviously, it's not. The situation is done. The season's done. I don't see them beating Tampa Bay, especially at home. Tampa Bay is a much better team than the Saints are. Saints have essentially cast in their chips, and we better start getting ready for next year. I hope they'll make some changes in that front office and then some coaching staff changes. And some of the older players, they need to cut them loose, and we just have to do like Carolina. Start from scratch and start building up.
That's terrible, man. 4 years, and this is where we're at. The timeline is over with, fam. The timeline is the timeline, the 2 to 3, the 4 year timeline the Saints had to compete for a deep postseason run is over with. They failed. Okay, next year you got Carr here. The Saints offensive line is not good. Like, you have two guys here. You seen how they looked. They looked inexperienced here. The interior guys, the Eric McCoy thing has to be looked at. McCoy is keep having injuries over and over again. We got to look at that. Ramczyk, got to get him off of here. Ramczyk should have been going already. We holding on to Ramczyk for whatever reason. The Cesar Salad Ruiz gets beat comfortably every week over and over again. That's not getting any better. Mm-hmm. At some point in time, we have to look at the offensive line, and we got to go all in. And we got to fix this offensive line so we can start running the ball. We got to get better depth there. I would start there before we even talk about looking anywhere else. You got to build up that line. The defensive line needs to be built up from the internal standpoint. We need to start putting guys in the interior to stop the run. The Saints got ran on today for a total of, 155 yards today with a 4-yard average on 38 carries. They got beat up today on the ground. They got beat up for 188 yards last week. The Saints are soft up the middle. So we have to improve that. The lines need to be improved before we start even looking at anything else. You got to build these lines correctly because they can't protect and they can't run. That's a major problem. So that's what it is. So anyway, listen, I like to give a shout out to all you guys. And unlike the Saints head coach, I like to say it, listen, man. We prepared today. Today we looked at it and man, we did everything we could do. And listen, the bottom line is that we got in the game and up, and we couldn't turn around. But listen, let me tell you something. I like to apologize. Because I'm pissed off. I apologize to our players. I'm just pissed off for our players. Coach Rizzi, what about the supporters? You apologize? You apologize? Oh, hell no, the hell with them. I'm more concerned about the players because we waiting on Derek Carr. Nah, dude, we good, man. Listen, bro, listen. Nah, man. I'm going to apologize to the Who Dat Nation. I'm going to apologize to the Great Saint Think Tank. I'm going to apologize to you guys for what this team has done for the last year, the last 2 years, the last 3 years, the last 4 years. I'm going to apologize because this is trash. This is garbage. This is subpar. This is failure, despite DeMario's company speak. This is trash. This is awful. So I apologize to the Who Dat Nation because the Saints too stupid to do it for you, to do it for us. They're not going to apologize for you. They ain't going to apologize for all the failure because they're not accountable. None of these coaches saying, you know what, man, the people pissed off. The guy get up there and he talk about, you're going to blame Rattler. All the stuff that went wrong out there, you're going to talk about people putting the blame on Spencer Rattler. Really? So, I mean, these people they don't have a clue, bro. They really don't, man. These supposed to be professionals. I don't get it. So, I mean, at the end of the day, man, I apologize for what you guys been seeing. And I ain't even a part of the shit. I don't belong to the Saints. I take no money from the Saints at all. But I know I'm smart enough to know when you deserve an apology and somebody got to do it. It's terrible. It's sad, man. Sad, sad, sad. But, keep the pressure. Do not support the Saints. Do not go to any more of these. Well, you can't go anyway because that was the last game. But don't buy no merch. A diehard don't mean you support the team when they failing, man. If you really love something, you're supposed to chastise it and make it do right. You don't keep supporting and doing that makes you an enabler. If you got a person with a drug problem, you don't keep feeding them money so they can kill themselves by buying more dope. You challenge them and you get on some real shit. Well, I'm telling you right now, get on some real stuff right now and challenge these people to do better by not giving them your support anymore. It's enough. It's enough. Stop giving them your support. Don't go to their functions. Don't go to that. Same with the Pelicans. Don't go to the games. Don't do none of that until they act right. Because they feel like they can do whatever they want to you. And it's showing you this all about money. It ain't about winning. Like I told you about Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones is all about making money because it's too hard for him to put together a team that will win a championship. It's just better for him to keep him right at the middle or just getting at the door of the playoffs so he can keep making his money. See, this is a game that they've been running. They feeling it's too difficult to go about the legwork to build a champion. So what they do is they do just enough to make the team hover around over 500 so they can keep making money. Don't let the Saints do this no more, fam. Enough is enough, and we ain't operating like we did in the old days. We stopping you right now. Both of the Pelicans and Saints get stopped today, right now. We're not playing with you. So anyway, with that being said, I'm going to get out on that. Listen, I'd like to thank all you guys for being in the stream. Much love to the fam. Appreciate y'all for another day. I know you guys had fun today on the show, man. We keep it, we got to keep it as thorough as we possibly can because we got too much placating and company man crap going on with this team. Things that you got to keep it real 100% because if we don't face down what we really need to do, we won't fix it. If we don't face it down, we won't fix it. It'll keep happening over and over again. So we have to man up. We got to man up and handle the business. Right, Pops?
That's correct. We got to. That's the only way it's going to get changed. We got to make the changes. We got to put the pressure on them. We got to put the pressure on them. You can't stand the heat. Get up out the kitchen let somebody else come in there and do it. See what they can do with it. We can't support 4 more years of this kind of ineptitude is what I call it, ineptitude. The quarterback, he's not, he's a young man, he's trying to learn, and they're not teaching him don't stare down. That's one thing I notice he does that a lot. They stare down. From the top down, from car down, they stare down one receiver to get them guys hurt. That's something that you should not be doing.
Yeah, that's true. That's part of the game, man.
Yeah.
But anyway, listen, I appreciate y'all for being in here, man. Listen, we'll be back on our Monday stream to go over it. Tuesdays, our Patreon stream, we look at the film, and we'll follow up, man, and see what happens. I know Mickey Loma's supposed to talk last week. He passed up on it. Really gonna hide on this one. But we'll see what they say after the tape. They'll look at an opportunity to look at the film for Monday. We'll be back to react on that. And we're going to continue to press forward. So with that being said, we get out. Listen, man, y'all have a beautiful rest of y'all day, man. Y'all keep your spirits high. This is supposed to happen, man, because in the end, they have to be exposed for the bumblers they are, so we can get some real change in the building. And we're seeing it firsthand, aren't we? All right, I'm out, man. Y'all hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Please hit up the description section to help out, show some support for our sponsors, Mint Mobile, T. Chenley, and Bet Online. Check that. Also links in the chat for merch and support ways as well. With that, that's all in the description section. So help out the platform, if you please, to keep us keeping on, man, and moving forward to force these people to do what they're supposed to do. Isn't that crazy? So I'm gonna get out on that. Much love, and I'll let y'all later. Peace. That's it.
Yeah. Like Benson, I'm a Who Dat. I'm a Who Dat. Long as I'm living, I'm a Who Dat. Lose or winning, I'm a Who Dat. Sports Coma, yeah, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like Benson, I'm a Who Dat. I'm a Who Dat. Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like elf. Thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube Live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your shame for the championship. Bucking on town, duck down. Falcons, pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy and you probably smell the crooked referees on Roger Goodell. Yeah, probably like this, and I'm a Who Dat. Every day I'm living, I'm a Who Dat. Lose or winning, I'm a Who Dat. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like this, and I'm a Who Dat. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
Your black and gold home for the New Orleans Saints.
Bet Online is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for online betting. From the earliest odds to in-game live betting, Bet Online provides you with all the action, the ability to watch the games as they happen. With the largest selection of odds on everything from football, NBA, and college basketball, NHL to UFC and MMA. Head to Bet Online today to get in on all the action with America's most trusted site for online wagering. Bet Online, the game starts here.
WhoThatDaily.com. That's right, the WhoThatDaily.com. Your one-stop shop for everything New Orleans Saints, New Orleans Pelicans, LSU Tigers, even the top flight boxing news. So if you're a Who Dat and you're looking for a place to stay up on your team, WhoThatDaily.com is your site. The WhoThatDaily.com for the sport Who Dat in all of us. That's right, the Pro Shop is the platform store where you can go and buy all the latest merch to support the platform. Available at the Pro Shops, we have dozens of hundreds of products available for you and your family. Unisex tees for men and women, hoodies and sweatshirts, tank tops, kids and baby items, long sleeve tees, mugs, pillows, wall art, bath bedding, face masks, phone cases, stickers, bags, fanny packs, socks, hats, and many other items. Please feel free to check out the Pro Shops. The link is in the description section below. And remember, it helps the platform continue to grow. Check out the Pro Shop and Who Dat.